Welcome back. It's preview Saturday's Premier League clash between West Ham United and Aston Villa at Upton Park. Barney starting with the home side, been a great start to the season.
It really has, hasn't it? You know, Allardyce entered the season under a bit of pressure, but all those questions over his job have gone now. He's proven that he can do it in a different style as well. Obviously, I think they've scored more headers than anyone else. They're still lumping the ball into the box, but it's working for them. They're playing some nice football as well with it. Downing looks reinvigorated. There's talk of him maybe being called up for England, which just shows what a turnaround he's had. You know, Sakho's come in and done really well. He might be back from injury for this match, which will be a big plus because I think he scored in every game he started for them. So many pluses for them, and you know they won 3 in a row before the 2-2 draw against Stoke last time out, and even that would have felt like a win because they came from 2-0 down to get the point, and that's such a good result for them, having been 2-0 down. I think.
You mentioned that game. It was West Ham in previous seasons, you probably they're 2-0 down against Stoke. We're saying that most teams 2-0 down against Stoke, you wouldn't expect them to come back, but the way they ground the result back, people like Son came to the forefront. Valencia up front was very strong, scored the goal, and there's a different feeling about West Ham at the moment. There's, you know, before the fans are always doom and gloom. It's, you know, they're going to finish bottom half of the table, but I think you can just sense something's happening there at the moment, aren't they? They've got good players in there. Andy Carroll's coming back as well. How he'll quite fit into that team, I'm not sure, because he's not going to get in ahead of Valencia and Sakho. That's for certain, the way they've started the season. But overall, I mean, West Ham start's been so good, and they'll fancy their chances of putting another win on the board against a Villa side who cannot buy a result at the moment.
Yeah, terrible form at the moment, and it's 6 defeats in a row. I think is their worst run for nearly half a century, which is, you know, it's dreadful. After the victory against Liverpool, things were looking so up for them because they had, I think it was 10 points from opening 4 games and sat in the Champions League position. No one expected them to make such a good start to the season, but the 6 defeats in a row, they're now hovering, I think, is 1 point above the relegation zone. And if they lose this match, they could, and the next match against Southampton, they could well be in the relegation zone. And it's been so poor. They did end their long goal drought against Tottenham Hotspur last time out, but to lose that match so late on as well, it's just demoralising for them, really.
I mean, you touched on the Tottenham game. It was demoralising, wasn't it? The way they took the lead. They played well, didn't they, in the first half? Though they deserved to take the lead. Had a lot of chances. Benteke came close to hit the crossbar, didn't he, with a great shot. But the way they came back, Tottenham are not in good form this season as well. And you know, to go 1-0 up and then to concede twice late on was just so poor. I mean, like you said, they ended their goal drought, and that was important. But losing Benteke to a red card, it was. I mean, Paul Lambert said after the match that he thought his daughter would have hit harder than that. But it's still silly, isn't it? It's a naive thing to do, because as soon as you raise your hand, you give the referee a decision. And Benteke started to play well, didn't he? Up to come back from the injury. Now they've lost him. Abundahor was on the bench. Vyman was okay, scored the goal, but it's just really worrying signs of Villa at the moment.
I mean, there's already questions over Paul Lambert's future after that great start to the season. They gave him a new contract. He hasn't picked up a point since. He's only got that 1 goal against Tottenham. So there's big questions over him. If he loses this game, loses against Southampton next time out, he's got 3 fairly easy games after that. Obviously no game's easy in the Premier League, but by other standards, they are
winnable.
Yeah, they're games they expect to get points out of. If they don't win any of them, Paul Lambert could be the next manager showing the door.
You backing them to get a result in this game? Which is
I'm not. West Ham have just been so strong recently, I think, and Villa so poor. I'm going for 2-0 to West Ham.
2-0, I agree as well. West Ham can't really do no wrong at the moment, can they? They're playing really well, so I agree with 2-0 win. So we're both backing West Ham to win 2-0. Thanks for joining us.